Hey, good evening. Welcome to Let's Talk to Sports Week 3 of the pro football season. For you guys that understand algorithms, you know why I couldn't use the NFL when I said what I said, but we're going to get right to it, get talking. Week 3, brother. Week 3.
Yeah, good morning. September
Yeah,
20th.
I
Got a
know,
week to go,
Dwayne,
man,
I was,
in this month.
as usual, I was always thinking, like, damn, it's September 25th already, hoodie season. Football goes like that, and we always talk about like, damn, next thing you know, we'll be in the playoffs, and then we go through our depression week, like, damn,
Yep.
no more football.
Listen, for your New Jersey high school football fan, we halfway through the season. 4
Mm.
games played in an 8-game season. So this stuff moves fast, man. It moves
Yeah,
fast.
I like that
Week three,
sweatshirt you got on too, sir.
it's a little jacket, man. Little people think it's Miami, but it's actually Union before Miami made a cease and desist with the U. But
Well,
after the way Miami played against Middle Tennessee State last night, maybe they should cease and desist.
as a Miami fan, I will say we were unprepared, underplayed, and as Paul Feinbaum say, we're frauds.
Well, listen, I know this is an NFL show, but Josh Gaddis, I had enough of him at the University of Michigan, and people said we were going to miss him with our offense. I don't miss the man at all. But now we got to talk about this league where they pay for play, man.
I'm intrigued.
It's a very intriguing week 3. We'll jump right into it, man. The 0-1-1 Texans travel to Chicago to face the 1-1 Bears.
Welcome home, Lovey.
Yes, sir. CBS, 1 o'clock tip. The Bears are a 3-point favorite right now. I want to see the Bears really take the training wheels off Justin Fields, man. Just let him go. Let him go, man. Let him be who he is. Let him use his feet. Let him use his athleticism. Boy has a great arm. And I like to see them. Like to see them let him go, man. We all love Lovey, but that Texan organization is in disarray. I just don't see them going into Chicago and getting the win. I like the Bears today.
I got Robert Quinn having about 3 sacks, wreaking havoc. One of the things about these two teams that is when you like two of the coaches and you
What
root
happened?
for the two
What
coaches.
Shefty say?
No. That's just the alert in general.
Okay.
I usually turn it off, and I apologize to anybody
No,
that's supporting the show.
I like to break
But,
the news.
I'm really intrigued with the coaches and what they're trying to do with their programs. But Chicago's home. Lovey got ceremoniously fired from them years ago as a guy who got Rex Grossman to the Super Bowl, which is still an amazing feat when you think about it. But I'm like you, man. You let Trey Lance go. I mean Justin Fields. Which one is there? I can always get these
Justin
two guys
Fields.
mixed up.
Yeah,
Let Justin
Fields
and
go.
I apologize. Let Justin go.
No, it's all right.
Let Justin make all these mistakes and let him do. One of the highlights of the season so far was when they ran and they did the splish and splash in that rain. That's what the NFL is all about. It's a kid sport where grown men are playing to make money. So you got to have that type of fun. So I'm gonna pick Chicago. I know the Bear Nation, the Prinny, Tavares, Patrick Seals, Paul Webb, Angie, the Bears and Wale. Y'all back. Let y'all get that 2-on-1. Basically Houston is on the clock for the first pick.
Yeah, man. So, the next game, I'm going to say something crazy, folks. You got the 0-2 Las Vegas Raiders traveling to Tennessee to face the 0-2 Titans. The Raiders are a 2-point favorite, 1 o'clock on Fox. It's week 3. But listen to me good. Season's over for the loser of this game. You don't recover from 0-3, man. You do not recover from 0-3. So if it's the Raiders in that AFC West, oh boy. If it's the Titans, I don't know, man. But somebody gonna leave out of there today 0-3 and their season in peril.
I'm gonna say this. Heartbreaking loss for the Raiders last week. Vrabel's time there went. Vrabel is a very good coach, but when you have these type of no nonsense coaches, they have a real short window, and players will tune them out. And at the end of the day, they relied on King Henry for 3 years, and now the great left tackle out of Michigan, Taylor Lewan, is gone for the season.
Come on, man. Why you gotta do that to me?
It's over, Tennessee.
Go blue.
Go blue. Danny Taylor, you my guy. I'm always gonna support you, bro. But Tennessee is on the clock for a quarterback.
Yeah, no. They got their quarterback.
Oh yeah,
it's it may be the Malik Willis show.
It might have to be because Dwayne, to analyze the game, and we're both in great moods today. It's a beautiful Sunday.
Beautiful.
To analyze the game a little bit more, Tennessee needs to manufacture points, manufacture offense, and this is where you might see Malik Willis come in the game and have to scramble, run around, and get points because they've been relying on King Henry for so long that they got rid of both of their receivers from last year, and they brought in new receivers, but they can't score. I saw them against New York; they can't score.
There's some people there's some people all around this league, right? Big time free agent signings from a few years ago, some from last year, some from 2 years ago. Since he gave Bud Dupree a lot of money, man, a lot of money. I know he got injured, but now he's back. He got to do something for that Tennessee defense, man, facing Derek Carr and Adams. And I don't know, Josh Jacobs, I think he's a game-time decision.
Waller.
Renfro needs to bounce back from just an up-and-down performance last week. I'm going to go with the Titans at home. And once they win, I start asking those questions again. Josh McDaniels, really a head football coach?
Yeah, Dwayne, it really is, and I know this has been you felt as though it was your bold statement of the week, but honestly, as a football guy, you're being honest that these two teams got some serious question marks going into this week, and the loser, we could be hearing a lot of chirping going on around the losing team.
A lot of boo birds. The boo birds will be out.
Yeah.
You know? So who you like in this one, man? Raiders or Titans?
Pick the Raiders.
Okay, so we're going head up on this one. Q likes the Raiders. I like the Titans. All right. One of the most disappointing teams in the league to start, to me, is the Indianapolis Colts. They're 0-1-1. They host the KC Chiefs today. Chiefs are a 5-point favorite. I don't see the Colts winning this game. Their offense is just a miss. We got the great Jonathan Taylor from Salem, New Jersey. You're a New Jersey boy. And these teams are loading the box. And they're saying Matt Ryan beat us. The receiving core is a little banged up. Chiefs haven't always been known for the stellar defense. But their D-line, they got some D tackles there, man. They can stop the run. So it's on Matt Ryan today. I think that spells bad news for Indianapolis. I like the Chiefs big today.
I
think 5 is not enough.
If you ask the average fan what is the Colts record, they're all going to say 0-2. I think a lot of people forget that they're 0-1-1. I think that in sports we watch a lot of things happen, and it always is what people may say is karma, or you get what you get what your hand called for. Irsay came out and said some things about Carson Wentz that, from an ownership standpoint, he shouldn't have said. You let fans criticize players to a point where we may say, as fans, we may say a player is trash or doo-doo. But when an owner criticizes a player too harshly, this is what happens. He goes out, gets rid of Carson Wentz after giving up a first-round pick for Wentz with one of the dumbest moves. Then he goes and trades for Matt Ryan. And Matt Ryan has been utter garbage.
Yeah. Hate to call it.
They have a great line. It's no excuse. They have a great running back. So what's the problem? Like you said, the skill positions, they probably not as good, but you would think Matt Ryan would be able to get them a little bit further.
And listen, I really think the Colts, I know Shaquille, he doesn't want to be known as his other name. I know Shaquille hasn't been playing. the great linebacker Shaquille Gordon. He hasn't been playing. But for me, it's the Matt Eberflus effect. He's gone. He's not a head coach of the Chicago Bears, and that Colts defense does not look the same without him. So somehow they got to show up their defense. And when you're trying to get your defense right, the last person you want to see in your stadium is number 15.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked that this points is so low.
Yeah,
5 is not a lot. I could see Kansas City blowing them out the water.
I always say Vegas knows best, but I just don't see 5. But
yeah.
I like the Chiefs today. I like the Chiefs today big.
Yeah.
So next game we got, which I think is a prime time matchup that's being played at 1 o'clock. We got the Buffalo Bills 2-0 going down to the Miami Dolphins 2-0 after an amazing win last week over Baltimore. 1 o'clock CBS. Buffalo is favored by 4.5. Buffalo looks like a juggernaut, man. They just look like the team that's going to be there in February. Still a lot
Coach Dable is in the check-in. Coach
yes,
Dable has checked in.
Yes, he is. And this is his game today, right here, right now. So, you know what, man? Everybody is crowning Buffalo. If you want to crown them, crown them. I'm taking the Dolphins at home. Give me the 4.5. And Tua, I trust. 6 touchdowns last week. Tyreek Hill all over the place. I'm taking Miami.
Well, you know, this is a very interesting game. This literally could be a track meet. I don't know if Xavier Howard could stick Diggs, but I know this is a game where, Dwayne, I'm not trying to overhype a divisional 3rd week game.
Overhype it, man.
This game is so hyped right now. When you sit and look at Tyreek Hill going against White. You look at Waddle going against the other kid, the rookie. Then you got Elam back there. Yes, they lost Micah Hyde for the season.
Yeah.
But you got matchups everywhere. You got the tight end from Miami who finally got off last week. Who they were down on. I'm going to pick Miami, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm picking Miami because they're at home. And when you come down there and you got to deal with that change of weather, coming from Buffalo where it's 40 degrees right now and windy, to go to that humidity down there is tough. This is a big game for Miami's program.
Right.
To basically not get behind and try to take over. And I'm happy for the Miami fans that I know, Mike, Twit, my man Butter. Miami, this is they back. They're back.
Yeah, listen, man, you know, football is the game that we love, right? We love it. But the folks in Florida, they got a big thing coming, man. This tropical storm, Ivan, is real. I'm hoping everybody down there is prepared. I'm hoping everybody stays safe. It's not something that's going to affect them till like the end of the week. But if you look around and you're reading the news, there's not food on the shelves. There's no water. So I'm just hoping everybody stays safe down there. And I hope today is a respite from all of that. And one of the main reasons that I like Miami today is Buffalo is beat up. 4 starters going to be out today for Buffalo. So I like Miami.
And I'm gonna say this, and it's not sarcastic neither. To Coach Dable, you will see a Byron Jones sighting today. Trust me.
Yeah,
Trust me. Byron lives for these type of moments.
He does come up big.
He may not stick Stephon, but the other receiver,
he comes up big. He comes up big. So next up, we got the Detroit Lions, 1-1, traveling to Minnesota to face the Vikings, who are 1-1. It's a Fox game. The Vikings are 6-point favorites. You know, whenever you watch them damn Hard Knocks, you fall in love with like players and stuff. That brother for the Detroit Lions, I'm not even gonna try to say his full name. The St. Brown kid. He keeps a list of all the receivers that was drafted before him. He mentioned one of the Washington Commander receivers and was like, I didn't even see him get on the field. So I like where that guy's head is at, man. Kirk Cousins. Who is Kirk Cousins, people? Like, we've been saying this for years. Kirk Cousins was absolutely atrocious in week 2. You got Justin Jefferson. You got Dalvin Cook. With the weapons on this Vikings team, man, they should be able to take care of the Lions at home. But I like that Lions duo at running back. I like the way the Lions play defense. I like number 97, Aiden Hutchinson, excuse me. And give me the 6. I'm taking the Lions in the upset.
You know when you think about Kirk Cousins, you know that as long as it's not a primetime game, you're going to get the good Kirk Cousins.
Good point.
Minnesota absolutely can never play the Eagles in Philly. For some reason, they don't play well when they play them. I look for the Vikings to play a lot better, but I'm gonna go on my bold Week 3 statement, and I want you guys that's watching in the chat. We appreciate y'all, but I want y'all to call me out on it if it doesn't end up this way. Not this game, but what I'm about to say about Detroit Lions. Detroit Lions have the best offensive line in the NFL, folks. I'm going to say it now.
Not a bowl.
They have the best offensive line in the NFL. If they run the football with those two complementary backs, with Swift and the other back, and let Goff play action, because Goff, we got to remember, Goff was the number 1 pick.
He was, man.
And he wasn't the number 1 pick for no reason. He just, and if you look at his time in the Rams, they were good as long as they had Todd Gurley.
Yeah.
As long as you have a complimentary back, and like Dwayne said, the young receiver,
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
What's interesting about him, if you know how his father is,
Mr. Universe,
you'll know why he is the way he is. His father was Mr. Universe 3 times over, I think, and his father, we would say braggadocious, but his father got a lot of swag. A lot of swag.
Right.
So you see it in his son. You see it in his other 2 sons.
He's a trainer for his sons, man.
I'm going to be honest with you guys. Detroit, Dan Campbell done assembled a good team, got a great staff who we all love, great coaches. Me and Dwayne always talk about how Deuce Staley and Aaron Glenn argued all day on Hard Knocks. So yeah, I look for Detroit I'm taking Detroit outright, Dwayne.
I'm taking the points. I ain't taking them outright. I think the Vikings win, but if we bet and I'm taking the Lions, I'm taking the 6. I think the Vikings win. But listen, man, I'm going to say this again. Amon-Ra St. Brown, man. Remember that young man's name. When you start talking about top receivers in this league, you got to mention 14 for the Detroit Lions.
And Aaron Glenn, if you're out there, stop putting Hutchinson at tackle. He is a defensive end for 12, 13 years. He's going to average 10 sacks a year. Just let him be. That's who he is.
Let him go. All right. So next one, a very intriguing matchup at Gillette Stadium in New England. The 1-1 Patriots versus the 1-1 Ravens. Ravens off a terrible loss. Terrible loss. You can't lose a game like that. But the Ravens are 2.5-point favorites. Lamar Jackson is going to be Lamar Jackson. We know what that is. As we know, and I've been saying it since his rookie year, I'm saying it second year, I'm not a fan of Mac Jones. I think he's a game manager at best. I think they tried to crown this young man too quick, as the media is known to do. I'm going to go with Baltimore, man. They need to bounce back. I love John Harbaugh as a coach. Their defense was an embarrassment according to SAS. He kind of went all out on their defense, talking about how they're an embarrassment to the Ravens defensive pass. I don't think players really be paying attention to SAS. But anyway, I think their defense does want to get back right and prove that they could be a good defense with Mike McDonald as the defensive coordinator taking over for Wink Martindale. And I like the Ravens on the road, man.
I saw last week. I saw a game for most viewers that would be boring, but I actually watched the whole New England Pittsburgh game, and I basically saw 2 coaches, Mike Tomlin and Belichick, coach, where they both realized both teams don't have a lot of talent. I know a lot of people think that, and the Steelers got a bunch of talent. No, they don't. They don't have a quarterback. Same thing in New England. New England put resources towards these tight ends last year, and these tight ends have been Hunter Henry don't even look the same because the quarterback, he's too young. He's not. His ceiling, it might not even be good enough to get them to the playoffs. So you see the coaches coaching very, very close to the vest. He's trying to slow the game down. I will say Baltimore in a blowout, but if it's close, New England will beat them.
So what is
Baltimore's trying to? I'm gonna take Baltimore because they need a big comeback. They just signed JPP, so he'll be back. He'll be there in a couple weeks once he gets ramped up. We all know,
Monty?
huh?
3-Finger Monty.
Just sick. So I'm gonna take Baltimore. I know that's my son's team. I know that's his squad. I just think they just have a little bit more than New England right now.
All right. Next up, the defending AFC champion 0-2 Cincinnati Bengals coming to MetLife Stadium to face the 1-1 Jets. The Bengals are a 6-point favorite. I tried to tell people, man, that La'el Collins is long in the tooth, man. I watched his whole career. This guy's a Dallas Cowboy, man. He's a road grader at this point. If you got somebody that you can put over there and speed rush him all day, do a couple of spin moves on him, he has no answers to that, all right? Joe Burrow is on pace to be sacked 100 times, man. So the Bengals made a concentration on fixing their offensive line, and they still haven't done it. But I think the Bengals have enough to come into MetLife if they use Joe Mixon, man. Use him. Use him. He's one of the best backs in the NFL. We already know the trio of wide receivers you guys have. You're hurting that tight end a little bit. Peyton Hurst is a nice pickup from Atlanta, though, so he's rounding into shape. But the Bengals can't afford to go 0-3, man. So I think they come into New York with a sense of urgency, and I think they take the Jets out, man.
One of the it's a copycat league. And one of the things that I noticed in Bengals both losses is the Bengals' strength, since Joe Burrow been there with, is throwing that ball deep. Zach Taylor needs to change his offensive scheme. He has to. If he thinks Joe Burrow could play 12 years in the league, he's not. He'll be done in 5. He has to understand that with the line that he has and the way Joe Burrow holds the ball, you have to have him in 3 and 5 step drops. You can never have him in a 7-step drop. You're allowing these routes to open up, and I'm telling you, these linemen is teeing off on them.
Yo, my man Joe Burrow, at one point in that game against Dallas, he called timeout and looked to the sideline and said, "No more empty sets."
Yeah. And Dwayne, you very rarely hear, and we've watched Joe Burrow, you very rarely hear competitors say something like that. They usually take on defensive guys and be like, "Come on, let's go. Let's get at it." But he realized he was getting, forget the 6 sacks he gave up against Dallas, he was getting hit every single time. And when they did make the adjustment, they went to 3-step drops and short passing plays and ran the ball. But see, sometimes teams are victims of their talent. Yeah. They're so talented at receiver that they want to throw the long ball, throw these deep routes, the deep ends. You can't do that all the time. Throw some slants, throw some quick ends, like throw the bubble screen and allow Chase to break the tackle. I think that I'm gonna pick them over the Jets, but they gotta be very careful of the pride of professional players.
Yeah, man. And let's just say this, man. Y'all know I always try to throw a name out there every year to y'all, a rookie. This Breece Hall for the Jets. Watch him, man. And I think Michael Carter is very good as well, but Breece Hall brings a different dimension to that Jets offense. I would never compare him to 28. 28's an all-time great in the Hall of Famer. But Breece Hall could do it running the ball. He could do it catching it out the backfield. He's one to watch for the New York Jets. Our next 1 o'clock game is an NFC East throwback power matchup. The Jalen Hurts-led Philadelphia Eagles, the 2-0. Fly, Eagles, fly. They flying high right now. and they facing them Washington Commanders and their former field general, number 11, one Carson Wentz. Interesting note out of DC for my big sis. It's all over the news, man. They're expecting 20,000 Eagle fans at FedEx Stadium today. It may turn into an Eagles home game. 6.5. Everybody crowning the Eagles. I've been using that term all morning, but it's true. Everybody's sleeper or no longer sleeper Super Bowl pick. AJ Brown has made a remarkable difference in that offense. They still got Devontae Smith. They got Dallas Goedert. They got Sanders running the ball. They got Hurts, man. He can beat you with his arm. He can beat you with his feet. But Jalen Hurts is going to have to beat me with his arm. I think Washington, we've been hearing for 2 years how they got this great front seven, their best defense, this, that, the third. It hasn't shown up. And I think Carson Wentz is a turnover waiting to happen today. And I think the Eagles get out of this one, but I think it's going to be a lot closer than you think. I'm thinking like 21-17 Eagles.
One of the things about the NFL is that division rivals, you could throw out records. You could even throw out recent history sometimes, unless somebody has the marquee quarterback of the division. The Commanders is a hard team for me to ever pick because I literally hate them as much as I hate the Red Sox.
Who's the Cowboys' number one rival in the NFC?
Cowboys' number one rival in the NFC is the Commanders.
Thank you. All right. Put it out there for the folks.
But I'm going to honestly say what I've seen with the Eagles is they ran Minnesota out the park last week, and I don't think they're that good. And I seen them play against Detroit, and Detroit kind of messed around with their plays that game. I don't think the Eagles is as good. I think that one of the things you cannot do against the Eagles is you cannot play man-to-man defense, because if you play man-to-man defense and Jalen Hurts gets outside that pocket, he's out. He's a runner. He's a runner first, and then he'll throw. It's a big difference. I'm going to pick the Eagles, but I'm going to say very close nail biter, 24-21.
Okay.
The Commanders got some fight. I'm going to be interested to see the Slay Scary Terry matchup, because Slay has basically been real quiet since he got signed from the Eagles from Detroit. And this year he seems to be a lot better. So I'm going to be intrigued to see that matchup with Scary Terry.
Listen, when you're right, you're right. And when you're wrong, you're wrong. I have been incredibly wrong about Matt Rule, the head coach of the Carolina Panthers. I thought he was going to be a superstar in the NFL. And so far, no. But what I do know is there's some big-time college openers, Arizona State, Nebraska. Matt Rule maybe got his eye on Lincoln, Nebraska. But today he got to deal with Jameis Winston and the Saints. Saints come in at 1-1. It's a 1 o'clock game on Fox. They go into Carolina to face the 0-2 Panthers, led by one Baker Mayfield. I was a little surprised that this line is only 2. Saints are only a 2-point favorite in this game. I'm going to be honest with you all. I don't really have a great feel for this game, man. I don't. But, Paging Alvin Kamara, what has happened with him, man? Like, is it the offense? Is it Dennis Allen being the head coach right now? I think they got to get him involved, man. Christian McCaffrey on the other side. I don't have a great feel for this game, but I just don't think the Panthers have a good cohesion right now. So I'm going to go with the Saints to go on the road and get the win over Carolina.
Well, unfortunately, the Saints has been my little preseason favorite that I thought was good. The Saints have been playing like utter hot trash since the beginning of the year. They squeaked by with 1 win, and then last week it was 10-10 into the fight, and then Jameson was rare to form. He started turning the ball over. I'm upset with the Saints because if you look at their roster, offense, defense, they are loaded. I mean, loaded. Their third receiver, I don't know if a lot of our people that support our show understand who Chris Olave is, but you told me about him last year, Dwayne, and I followed him for a minute during the season, and then this kid, He's their third receiver. You got Juice and Thomas back. You got McCaffrey. You got Ingram back and uh, Kamara up. There is no excuse for what the Saints have done the last 2 weeks. I look for them to have a big game. Matt Rule, unfortunately, sometimes with coaches, getting that quarterback is so vital for a young coach in the NFL that a lot of times coaches don't take the job unless you got the first couple picks and this quarterback's coming out. We all know that sometimes it's a perfect time to get fired. Sometimes it's the hot GM or the hot assistant. And a lot of guys don't do it unless they got that quarterback. They want that quarterback. That quarterback is vital for their program. So I think that I don't know, Matt Rule might not make it past week 7.
It may not, man. So then you got the 4 o'clock action. There's only one 4:05 kickoff today, and that's the Jacksonville Jaguars going into Los Angeles to face the Chargers at SoFi, CBS. The Chargers are a 3.5-point favorite. I want to say this, not that he's going to see this or hear this. Justin Herbert, you got a long season to go, man. You got a rib cartilage injury. Sit this one out, man. Sit this one out. Let's Chase Daniel be the starting quarterback. That man has stolen more money from NFL teams than anybody in the history of this damn league. And so let him go out there and earn that paycheck this week. If you cannot tell the difference in this Jacksonville team, since they got rid of Urban Meyer, and now Doug Peterson is down there, they look different, they feel different. Trevor Lawrence is getting better and better every time out. But even with Chase Daniels, I think it's too much for this team to travel cross country and face Los Angeles at home. So I like the Chargers. I like Chargers to beat the Jaguars today, at least by double digits.
On paper it looks like it will be a blowout, but I'm gonna say that don't sleep on the quarterback and the Super Bowl winning coach. Sometimes they know how to pull a rabbit out, man. So I'm gonna go with the Chargers, but I'm giving Jacksonville a puncher's chance.
Okay. Now we got 3 4-25 games, all on Fox. First one, the defending Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams traveled to Glendale, Arizona to face the Cardinals, led by Kyler Murray, off an amazing overtime win last week over Las Vegas. The Rams are a 3.5-point favorite right now. And I just think the way the Rams play football, I think styles make fights. I don't think Arizona matches up well with the Rams ever. So I like the Rams to go and travel to Arizona, and I like the Rams to get the victory today.
I see the Rams in a blowout. In order to beat the Rams, you have to be willing and able to run the ball. You gotta try to wear that tank that's in the middle of that defense down. You gotta run at them, which most people don't understand. Why would you run at Aaron Donald? But you have to run at him. I saw last year where the 49ers basically had him tapping out a series. And you very rarely will see that in a guy of his caliber. Arizona's just not committed to doing nothing like that. They don't believe in that. That's not their philosophy. So I think the Rams will just blow them out. I think that old Bobby Wagner is going to show up this game. I'm going to say Bobby Wagner has an interception and a sack or two.
Listen, this next one, we all know I love football. I'll go watch a youth football 8U game in the rain. You could not pay me good money to watch the Atlanta Falcons travel to Seattle to play the Seahawks at 425. Seattle's a 1-point favorite. Let me tell y'all something. Listen to me and listen to me good. We do this every week, 2 shows a week.
Excuse me.
I do not care.
That game put me to sleep. That game got me yawning.
On to you, Q, because I do not care. I don't care.
I'm going to pick Atlanta. That's all.
Okay. So, Fox game of the week. The big boys is dead. Greg Olson, my man Kevin Burkhardt. Too big for us in New York, man. It's good to see these two guys really get a chance. Kevin Burkhardt used to be a sideline reporter for the New York Mets. He was a board op for WFAN for a lot of the big shows on WFAN. So it's great to see him ascend to the lead play-by-play man on Fox. Greg Olsen is Christian Olsen. No, it's Greg. Greg Olsen is keeping the seat warm for the GOAT, Tom Brady, who will be playing today. Matchup with all-time great quarterbacks, Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. No Mike Evans. He has the 1-game suspension. I don't think we got Godwin today. Cole Beasley will be active and playing for Tampa Bay today. 1.5. I'm gonna take Tom Brady at home, man. Yeah, he's a GOAT. I'm gonna take him at home. I'm gonna take the Bucs over the Packers.
Unfortunately, this is where we disagree. I think that Todd definitely got their defense under the radar playing well. I think this is a game where only in the regular season would I pick Aaron Rodgers to win. I just think that Aaron Rodgers and them they're gonna beat them because of the injuries. I think that I don't even think Julio is playing again. It's like, eventually you continue to play with fire and you get burnt. And Tampa Bay's offense is just old and beat up, and so they're not really scoring a lot of points. They're getting that 20, 21 area both games so far this year. So I think that the Packers will get them. I think the Packers is going to go into their stride and run off like 5-6 games in a row. Hopefully like 3.
You got the Sunday night game. We usually don't get into the primetime games, but I have to mention something that bothers me.
We'll be on probably later, but it'll probably be later tonight. Probably during halftime. I don't know.
Yeah. I got to say something that bothers me as a fan of the NFL. And the NFL, they got all these slogans on the back of their helmets. They got all these slogans in their end zones talking about end racism, change the culture. I got a real big problem that you got a coach with training wheels on now, Nathaniel Hackett, that he had to go out and hire somebody this week as a consultant to help him with game management decisions. Okay? Steve Wilkes gets fired after 1 year. Okay? Anthony Lynn gets fired in San Diego. Okay? Vance Joseph with these Denver Broncos gets fired. Okay? And you're going to allow this man who's overmatched and is not ready to be a head coach in this NFL, you're going to allow him to go out and hire a consultant to help him with game decisions. He should be fired, folks. He should not be the head coach of the Denver Broncos. And these people on these big national media shows, they need to bring this to attention. This is a disgrace. And I hope the Denver Broncos lose every damn game this year, even though I'm a Russ Williams fan, because this man is not equipped to be a head coach in the NFL. He's not his father, Paul Hackett. He's not him. Okay? He doesn't know what the hell he's doing.
I want
is big tonight, and
I'm gonna say this is that I second what you said about baby Hackett. He's not his father. When you look at what goes on in the NFL as far as coaching, he should have been perfectly ready for this coaching job. But it goes to show that sometimes nepotism is not good. I think him and Russ is a disaster matchup as quarterback and coach, because as much as I criticize Russ about what he does, Russ wants to be coached, and he wants to be coached hard, and he wants to cook, as people say, but he wants to be coached. And having a coach that's undecisive and second, third guesses their decisions is the worst thing for Russell Wilson going into a new team. And here comes the prodigal son. Coach Shanahan's boy is home. The team that may have the best 2 lines in football, offensive and defensive lines together. It does not take away from what I said about Detroit, but Detroit's defensive line is outside of Hutchinson is coming. But this team, the 49ers, they're going to play physical. Russ knows. They're gonna play physical. They're gonna bully you. Judy, you sit around there and play. You're gonna get hit by those safeties. I think the 49ers are just gonna destroy Denver. Just destroy them. Destroy them. I think this will be a game where they might have damn near 250 rushing yards on the ground.
That's it, man. That's week 3, man. We're here.
So Roy, our brother Roy wanted us to talk about tomorrow, Dwayne. Well, he didn't say talk about tomorrow. He said he wanted to talk about this comparison, number 11 to 56.
Why would I talk about something that I don't agree with? Stop falling for what this media tries to push you through. See this game with your own eyes, man. Don't get caught up in hype. Is Micah Parsons a nice player right now? Yeah, he's a nice player. He's a nice player that's played under 20 games in this league. We are so quick to say, who's the greatest, Joe Montana or Tom Brady? Who's the best running back of all time? Barry Sanders, James Brown, Walter Payton. And you know what all that adds up to? Nothing. So Michael Parsons, with his cute little tweet he put out, a picture of Michael Jordan being sick on the sideline and gutting it through, so I guess he got a cold or something. I don't get caught up in all that, man. All we always want to hear is, who's the next LT? Who's the next this one? Who's the next that one? There's only one LT. It's only one Lawrence Taylor. And he's the greatest defensive player to ever put a uniform on in the NFL. Case closed.
I'll entertain it a little bit. If you pass the ball 60 times a game and LT was chasing your quarterback, most teams nowadays, is 60 plays, they pass the ball 40-20. And LT was chasing your quarterback 40 of those plays. LT in a 16-game season would have had 30 sacks.
Easy.
LT was the most feared defensive player I think we've ever seen. I don't think you could ever have scheme for LT because the things they used to do, he developed what we all call 21 personnel. There was no such thing putting a left tackle. I'm putting a tight end over by your left tackle. That was always considered the weak side. But Coach Gibbs actually started 2 tight end offense because of LT. Micah is not comparable to Lawrence Taylor. They're 2 different styles. And it's funny that people are trying to do this. I'm not saying LT couldn't have played a little bit of middle linebacker, but LT was outside linebacker exclusively. Micah is more of in the mold of T. Sizzle and Adolis Thomas, the 2 teammates that was in Baltimore. Adolis Thomas was a good linebacker with
You can
Ray
also
Lewis.
put him in comparison with Khalil Mack.
Yeah.
Type of player he is.
More Khalil Mack. He's fat. One thing that Micah, the quality that most people don't talk about, his speed to be that big is unmatched. But let's stop with the comparison. Sometimes what we do when we compare these players is we don't enjoy the guys because we're spending 7-8 years comparing them, and next thing you know, they're on their 11th season, and we didn't appreciate them. Because I'm gonna be honest with you guys in the chat, I didn't appreciate Von Miller for a long time.
Nobody, to be honest, and you used his name. Did people really respect T. Sizzle the way they needed to?
No. Until he came back from the Achilles injury the same year and showed up.
I would say this, man, and it's just one man's opinion, and my opinion ain't no more important than the next man. But I got this platform, so I get to speak and run my damn mouth. Just let 11 be 11, man. Let him be the best 11 he could be, man.
Yeah.
But, you know, when there's anything with that team with the star in their helmet, love them, like them, or hate them, the media is going to blow everything up and out of proportion with the Dallas Cowboys, man. And do they deserve all the attention they get? Hell no.
I will say this because
but they push the needle. So that's why they do it.
Because the great LT will be there tomorrow. Let's say if Micah Parsons has no sacks, but LT comes out and say he's the next greatest thing. What does that mean?
I mean,
Nothing. So with that, glad you guys could join us. We might pop back up tonight. We might even peek around tomorrow. Never know.
You never know. We may pop in during that Miami versus Buffalo game.
Yeah, it is a strong possibility.
May pop up on y'all.
Mike,
come talk to us, Mike. I know you're gonna be in the battle, Mike.
Coach Dable.
With that,
appreciate you guys, and thanks for joining us this week.
Hey, man,
we'll see you guys a little later.
Thanks for listening. Like, subscribe, and share. Let's keep this going. Tell a friend to tell a friend, man. We just talking ball. That's all we doing.
Later.
Later.